What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sneaky Tech Travels. All right, for this episode, we're going to showcase the newly released Baja Designs Reflex Light Actuators. I'm proud to share that despite the modest small size of our channel, we remain committed in terms of working hard to make sure that we become the very first Filipino channel here in the Philippines to feature these kinds of products. That's why I urge you to subscribe to this channel to make sure na kayo ang unang makakakita ng mga products like this before the other bigger channels gets to feature it. All right, so before we start, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Last December 2025, when we did our episode wherein we've installed tong mga new off-road lights on our rig, a lot of our viewers were sending out messages asking, Sir, ano ba ang difference between this Baja Designs off-road lights that you'd installed versus doon sa mga LED lights that's being sold all over Facebook by a lot of resellers? So first, you need to understand that these two lights, this Baja Designs off-road lights or any other off-road lights, is totally different from the LED lights that are being sold over Facebook. So the LED lights that are being sold over Facebook can be classified as street legal lights or SAE lights. In other countries, they call it SAE lights. So these SAE lights are street legal lights designed for road safety with strict aiming and glare control. So we can say that those LED lights, similar to those being sold on Facebook, are mainly designed as an enhancement of visibility for standard on-road driving conditions. On the other hand, off-road lights such as this LP6 and the S8 light bar that we've installed offer higher, unrestricted, more often than not, blinding output for trail navigation. But these are not ideal or even prohibited on public roads for some countries, often requiring covers or off positioning. That's why, as you may notice, for those automotive lighting companies that produce several kinds of lights, they have these separate categories called SAE lights. With as far as beam pattern and output is concerned, those LED lights that are being sold over Facebook or the SAE lights have a precise, sharp cutoff to avoid blinding other drivers. On the other hand, off-road lights typically offer maximum, intense, long distance, or widespread light without beam restrictions. That's the reason why, for someone who doesn't understand the difference between the two, they would say that off-road lights are kalat or sabog, where in fact, those two lights are totally different. They have a totally different purpose. Another difference is the primary function. Those LED lights that are being sold over Facebook enhances safety for instances wherein there's fog, snow, and rain. So basically, it's an enhancement to its standard driving use. On the other hand, off-road lights typically offer maximum, intense, and long distance range. For example, hardcore trail or extreme off-beaten path overlanding. And in some countries, they also do some desert racing. And the final difference is in terms of how it's being installed. Typically, those LED lights or the SAE lights are often mounted as fog or driving lights. And that's the reason why those LED lights that are being sold on Facebook oftentimes are mounted on the same position as the OEM lights. It's more of a replacement. So either it's a replacement for the headlight or it's a replacement for the fog lamps. On the other hand, off-road lights are often mounted on high spots like roof racks or bull bars. Of course, there are instances that the off-road lights are also being installed on the fog lamps, such as this kind of setup. But more often than not, it's being installed on top of the positions where the standard OEM lights are installed. So for example, these LP6 lights are installed on a different position as compared to the headlight and the fog lights. And of course, our S8 light bar, again, also is installed on a different position, which is behind the grills. For some, you would notice yung iba nasa taas ng bubong or yung iba nasa gilid or yung iba nasa may likod. Now, let's cover this Baja Designs Reflex Light Actuators, which we at Sneaky Tech Travels is the very first Filipino YouTube channel to have this here in the Philippines. By the way, this product is not sponsored, which means that we purchased this from our own money and have it imported directly from the Baja Designs office in San Marcos, California, and was purchased through their online website. No automotive shop in the Philippines has this actual product yet as of filming this video. And if there is, they are just featuring this same Ford Ranger Raptor that we have here at Sneaky Tech Travels. So this Reflex Light Actuators is the first fully compatible actuator system designed exclusively for the Baja Designs light lineup, including this LP6. These actuators bring professional race-level engineering to a consumer-ready solutions. They deliver instant on-the-fly control of the light pitch angle. In the past, these actuators dati are just being used by professional off-roaders. For example, those ATVs that we see in the United States that do racing on the Baja Desert. That's why in the past, if you want to change the lighting angle of your off-road lights, you need to unscrew the lights directly from the bracket and manually adjust it. But right now, the driver can adjust our lights, in this case our LP6, directly from the inside of the cabin. The adjustment is up to 20 degrees, ensuring perfect light coverage for every terrain change, climb, descend, or high-speed section. So for example, if you're going downhill and that downhill is very steep, you can actually adjust your off-road lights downwards. On the other hand, if you're going on a steep mountain or your approach level is really high, you can adjust your off-road lights upward. And lastly, if you want to put it back to its normal level, which is in the middle, all you need to do is just to push the button. So for this setup, we use a harness specifically for the Bantam X power control system with touch bar, which we will showcase later on in detail. On this setup, we purchased two of this. So this is the light actuator specific for the LP6. And then we purchased one of this, which is the light actuator specific for the S8 light bar. So this is the S-Pod Bantam X power control system with touchscreen control, which we're going to use to control these reflex light actuators along with the existing lights that we've already installed. Now, this control system will unlock more features of our existing off-road lights, which I will show you later on. This S-Pod Bantam X is a compact box that has 8 circuits rated at 30 amps at 12.5 volts per circuit. It provides a clean and safe way to power and control either your 12 or 24 volt accessories. In our case, this includes our rigid chase light, S8 light bar, squadron lights, LP6s, and of course, the reflex light actuators. One thing to note is that this can be expanded up to 4 Bantam X's via a daisy chain configuration should you wish to control a gazillion of accessories with a total of 32 circuits combined. Due to its small footprint, this box is typically tapped near the battery of your rig. This saves you from cutting and fishing several multiple wires into the cab or tapping into the vehicle's electrical system. So instead of you having those separate wires for each accessory scattered across your vehicle, which is quite messy by the way, all of this can be directed to this S-Pod Bantam X power management box. As compared to the standard OEM overhead toggle switches that we have on this Raptor, this power management box can do so much more, on top of just turning on or turning off an accessory. And oh, this has built-in Bluetooth capability that connects to your mobile phone so you can control it remotely using the S-Pod app that is available both on iOS and Android. We opted to have the touchscreen panel installed on this position below the infotainment system for easy access, but you can have it installed on any position as you prefer. Here's a list of the technical features of the S-Pod Bantam X for your reference. So as mentioned earlier, we also purchased a separate reflex light actuator for our S8 light bar. However, the problem is given the fact that the spaces are very tight, there's no more space left for the actuators to be installed. So what we're going to do is that we can opt to purchase another S8 light bar and have it installed on a different space. Maybe we can put a roof rack here or somewhere on the rig where there is more space, and then we're going to install that S8 light actuator. So once it's done, we're going to feature it on a separate episode, so make sure you are subscribed. So now, let me show you how this reflex light actuator works. As you can see, the highlights of the tree as our reference changes. So as we go up, the part of the tree gets more beaten up. And then as we go down, the focus on the lights goes down as well. Turn it down. So putting it in the middle is also an option. So from the driver's point of view, turn on the high beam. Let's move it up. And let's move it down. So if you want it centered, you can also do so as you wish. So here's a quick demo on how the S-Pod works with the light actuators and the other Baja design lights. So we turn on the DRL, turn on the S8 bar, turn off the S8 bar, LP6 low, LP6 high, turn off the LP6, turn on the squadron lights, turn off the squadron lights. So now let's try the light actuators using the LP6s. So we turn on both high and low, and then let's go level it down. Level it up. And put it on the center. Turn it off. Turn it off. Now let's try the functions of off-road. So we've chosen strobe. So let's turn on the S8 bar and then hit strobe. Okay, now let's try it with the LP6s. And the squadron lights. Okay, so let's quickly check the 4 functions under the off-road lights. So basically, we have 4 controls that we can do under the off-road function for all the existing Baja design lights. We have dimmable, we have strobe, we have momentary, we have flash. So for dimmable, it enables you to adjust the dimming of the light. For momentary, once you press the button, the light turns on, and once you unpress it, it turns off. For strobe and flash, both enables the light to flash, but for strobe, there is a faster intensity, and for flash, there is a slower intensity. So let's do a quick demo. Under momentary, let's try the S8 bar. It turns on. Once you unpress it, it turns off. Let's try that again. On, off. For flash, let's try it with the squadron lights. For the strobe, let's try it with the LP6s. Okay, so for the dimmable, you can actually change the intensity of the light. So now let's try using the SPOD app. So let's turn on the DRLs, the S8 light bar, LP6 low beam, LP6 high beam, level down, level up, and then center, turn off LP6s, and then let's turn on the squadron lights. Turn it off and turn it off.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take.
So there you go, guys. That's our exclusive first Philippine vlog of this Baja Designs Reflex Light Actuators working with the Bantam X S-Pod power management system. We've also done two separate upgrades on this Ford Ranger Raptor, particularly the R-Step and the Hammer Mat, which we will feature on a separate episode. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Till next time, maraming salamat!